about the things that come easily. Even during meditation this morning, Esther, once she relaxed, heard us say, do this for the pleasure of it, period. Not to make something happen, not to fix something that's broken. Allow your vibration to rise for the pleasure of it. And so that's good advice about anything. Allow yourself to want this for the pleasure of it, not because it's needed or urgent, for the pleasure of the creation.
So is it wrong for me?
Never.
Sometimes I'll meditate when I meditate in the morning, I do it because it's like, well, I know that I want to have a good day today. I want to be clear when I step out into the world. I want to perform in a satisfying manner. I want to prepay from a place of clarity. My interactions at work, all of those kinds of things. So that's all good, but that's all fine. Okay.
But that's sort of what we were talking to Esther about today, because she loves being here with you all, and she is determined. Feel the edge in that a little bit. Determined to be in the right place for you, to be in the right place so that she can receive what you are asking for. And we wanted her to just cool her jets a little bit. Meditate for the pleasure of it, not for the responsibility of it. Alignment is delicious. Responsibility is edgy. Yeah.
This morning before I came here, I sensed you were like, I have the books, I have the Kajabi, so I do the every now and Abraham Now
broadcast.
Yeah, so, but this morning I had grabbed the flashcards. I noticed they have like 4 or 5 sets of cards now.
Well-being
but I have
cards,
one,
yeah.
I think they're like orange box or something, but I hadn't used them in a while and I grabbed them. And I laid in bed, I still was on my pillow, and I found myself just kind of being at ease, like, well, you're gonna go see Abraham today, like, chill out. Like, you don't gotta get up and make sure you bookmark it. Just use the flashcards. And then, matter of fact, take a nap in between the flashcards. And I did. I read like 5 or 6 cards, and then I would find myself just like falling into the pillow and just being like, yeah, see, like, it's not that serious. Like, read the flashcard. You're gonna go see Abraham. The train ride's gonna go well. There's gonna be an automated Starbucks machine. Like, just chill out.
The advantage of those cards, now we've been talking about most humans calibrate to what's going on around them. And that is the biggest reason for introducing resistance into your own point of attraction. Because most humans are calibrating to other humans and what they think, spending all your time sifting and sorting and trying to decide what's the rightest and what's the wrongest of everything, rather than calibrating to where you're going. So those decks of cards, there's one on prosperity and one on physical well-being and one on relationships, and what they're about, they are perfectly calibrated to the frequency of those subjects. Not only the artwork on them, so much was considered. In every card, it took years, really, to get those cards calibrated. The intention being, when you do as you do, simply take the card in. There is not a word on any one of those cards that is calibrated in opposition of pure desire. So as you take them in and they feel natural to you, it's a very powerful exercise in calibration. Meditation is an equally powerful exercise in calibration if you're able to quiet your mind. But you've trained yourself to be thinkers, and that's a good thing. You've trained yourself to focus because you are creators, and that's a good thing. Quieting your mind is not something that you do that easily. We would rather you be in a state of appreciation than in a state of meditation, because there's no resistance in either case. And appreciation comes more natural to you than quieting your mind. You're not built to shut your mind down. You really are not. We would use meditation as a way to cool off when it was hard to do it in any other way, and for the pleasure of that pure alignment with source energy. Most people don't meditate in those ways. Most people are trying to use meditation as a tool to get what they want, and that's cross purposes. That's like trying to ask a question and receive an answer at the same time. the vibration of the question and the vibration of the answer. If you already knew the answer, you wouldn't have the question. The fact that you've got the question means that you might not be ready for the answer. So you want to ask the questions and then live with it, knowing that your inner being heard your question and extrapolated your desire for the answer out of it, has queued up the answer and all manner of cooperative components to help you get it. And if you'll just chill more, you'll just run right into the answer. Oh, I was just wondering about that.
Yeah. So you mean to tell me I came up here to get in a chair, you're going to tell me it's the same answer you've been giving us this whole time?
Yeah,
it's
you want,
the same. I was going to get a different answer. No, it's going to be the same answer.
You want your money back, don't you?
It's going to be the same answer. The book says it. The cards say it. The Abraham now says it. It's been saying that since you were born.
It takes a little while, though. It takes a little while to see it through the lens of that knowing. Because if something that you've picked up along your physical trail is that life's hard, and then somebody says something to you that's so simple and easy, you think, oh, this is suspicious to me. Don't beat up on yourself for where you are. You are where you are, and where you are is just fine. And your inner being knows where you are and is calling you to where you want to be all the time. Yeah, really good.
Really good. Thank you.
Yeah. Now what? So we're looking for that shining light. What we're looking for is when you have a question and you are in the vicinity of your answer, you light up in a unique way. When you are far apart, then you don't light up so much. We see your hands, just not your light. You see what we're getting at? Well, we've enjoyed this interaction immensely. Just kidding.
Okay, thank you, Esther.
We look so much the same.
You talked about this some, and I feel close to it. When you have a moment where you grow, like you kind of manifest something in yourself, and
Are you talking about that moment where the thoughts burst into a manifested moment, so you really feel the completion of something?
Yes, and almost like a new piece of you or something, a new way of feeling you.
Yeah.
And then there's this spaciousness. For me, that's what I feel. And
Well, it's the wholeness of you sharing the moment, experiencing the moment. So we see why it would feel bigger.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I feel like the kind of the old habits sitting there, and I feel this kind of spaciousness and solidity also. And it's like in that space, how do you like listen and wait? I don't know. It's like I'm in a new place. I don't know, without putting your feet on the brake. Like I want,
Well, don't work too hard at this. What this question calls from us is the reminder that step one is when you do the asking, and step two is the answer coming to you from source. That's that spaciousness that you're feeling. That's that bigger space. Step one, step two. And step three is you just letting it be. Just take it on. Let it be the vibrational experience that it is. As we are together here today, and some will ask questions, all will receive this vibrational tuning with your own inner being. In other words, things will feel really logical to you as we move along. It's like a tuning upwards of your vibration. And it's so subtle that you really can't put your finger on it, and you really don't need to. Don't work too hard at this.
So in that space, it's like a relaxing, a being?
Yes, because it's like this. Here's what you're looking for. Because there's a tendency when you get into that space to expect the formula to some masterful equation or an idea for some earth-changing event or creation, rather than understanding that it's a movement in your energy which makes you a vibrational match to things that you've not been a vibrational match to before, and that they will begin flowing into your experience, and you will notice it in more step three moments. So here's this vibrational reality, and you've been living in your body and knowing what you don't want, knowing what you do want, and putting lots of, we call them rockets of desire, because most of them you launch without even realizing. When something is really bothering you about something, you launch a strong rocket of desire, even though you couldn't identify it because you're over here. But your inner being recognizes it and knows it and focuses on it. And because your inner being is being responded to by the law of attraction on your behalf. Cooperative components for you are being gathered to your inner being, to your vibrational reality. Now that's all well and good. Blah, 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 humans want to say. How do I get the money out of the vortex and into the bank? The vibrational reality is not that exciting to most humans, but it's exciting to us because we know that it is some of this that you are sensing. It's some of this spaciousness that you are feeling. Well, accept that it is there, and that when the timing is right, meaning when you're focused in a way that you can be receptive to this, the law of attraction will manage all of that. In Esther's circle of friends and family, mostly daughter, Esther is known as a flip-flopper because she'll say, this is what I'm going to do, and then a day later it's changed. Because in this moment, under this criteria, it was the best idea, but it activated a desire that more information came and the universe lined up better unfoldings. And so don't decide that you're going to do something no matter what. Decide that you're going to be sensitive to the impulses that come and do your best to feel good and follow those good feeling impulses. That's really the best encouragement that we could give to anyone, no matter what it is you're wanting to create. You've already done the work. Life has already caused you to ask, and you've asked with greater clarity than you know because you lived a lot of life and you ask a lot of questions and you ask for a lot of things relative to that. You've really put together the ingredients for a magnificent whatever it is that you want. And your inner being is all over it, focused upon it in minutia, in specificity, and in grandness. Your inner being knows what it is you're reaching for and never takes attention away from it. And the law of attraction is gathering, oh, if only there were more words to explain to you the certainty of what you've asked for, and the certainty that it's been gathered, and the certainty that it is yours. For sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. But you stand using your eyes to look for it, and you don't see it, so you introduce doubt that doesn't prevent it from happening, just prevents it from happening now. Because in the presence of doubt, certainty cannot, timing-wise, happen right now. So the lighter you get, the better you feel, the less you worry about things, the more you trust yourself, the more you trust others, the more you laugh and play, do a good job of what you want to do, the more you keep your promises to yourself, the more you are kind to yourself and kind to others, the more tuned and tapped in, turned on you are, the better you feel, then the more often you stand in a place where the timing is right for you to receive a glimpse, not just a hint, not just a gut feeling, but actual visual, see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, evidence of the progression. You meet someone who's talking about what you've been thinking about. You see someone who's wearing what you're looking for. You see a car, which is what you hoped would become to be, but you didn't realize was actually reality yet. All kinds of things begin coming about, and you get to be one of the rare humans who rendezvous with the evidence of it, and there you are, taking it in. And we want you to be one who connects those dots, not needing the full manifestation. You think you want it. You think that you want to ask for it, and boom, there it is. We know that's nice too, because that moment when your thoughts burst in to your realization of something, we know how delicious that is. And that's what you're all looking for. But if you could know that that's coming and enjoy it in those moments, and otherwise just enjoy the subtle, never-ending unfolding, it can be delicious for you every step along the way. Esther is beginning to realize that, oh, she really likes it. When something that she's been looking for shows up and she can take it home today, she really, really likes that. She really, really likes that. It makes her feel happy. She also likes it when something she's been thinking about gets more clear in her mind. Or she turns on the television just at the moment somebody's saying something about that. She notices more and more all of those rendezvous points, because the entire universe is there for you, and your inner being knows where every important Stepping stone is not the best word along the way for you. So you just want to hang loose and be ready. That's really what we're saying to you. Not guarded, not urgent, not trying too hard, not trying to fix something that isn't broken, not trying to save anybody, but just feeling good and trusting everything we just said to you. You put it in your vortex, which means it's done. And once it's in the vortex, you put it there, it's yours. Your inner being is knowing about it and guiding you to it. It is a slam dunk. It is a sure thing. It's a sure thing.